Ding, ding. It's Tuesday, October the 1st. But I'm not joined by 1 out of 10s. I'm joined by 10 out of 10s this evening. It's Mr. V and Yabba.
How are you doing, boss? Are you all right?
I'm all right. I can just about make you out. Yabba, how are you?
Yeah, another long day. What we did Tuesday now, isn't it? Yeah, Tuesday, and we're ready to go. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff to discuss tonight that you've been sourcing, and I found it kind of when I was reading up, on the toilet break. You know what I do? I take I waste about an hour a day on the shitter at work. That's a secret to get away, because no one can really deny that you're in there doing anything wrong, But I was reading about all the sources. I'm sure everyone does it. I was reading about the sources and the information, because at the moment, with the Man United fan base and everything else, it's all about Ten Hag and waving the white flags, and people are furious, but we don't know enough. So by getting quotes from certain players or people around the club, you get a bit more information about and insight into what's going on. And it's really interesting stuff that was being revealed. Good source in there, bath time. And you guys can enjoy this. It was really some food for thought, as they say.
Well, I hope so. But should we see who we've got in to enjoy this bounty with us? We've got I Am Titanium saying, I'll leave a comment an hour before the show because I feel like it. I've got no issues with that, I Am Titanium, as long as you don't get into a conversation with Lucky Singh. Because he leaves quite a lot before the show. If you ever feel down, go and watch Celtic in the Champions League. What's going on with Celtic?
No idea at the moment. I know Arsenal beating PSG.
Yeah, I saw that. I think Celtic were 2-1 down after 11 minutes.
5-1.
They're 5-1.
5-1 down at half time.
Oh, wow.
Wow, crikey. All right. We have got Matty Bassett. Big up, Matty. I hope you're doing well. Let us know how you got on at the weekend. We've got Chat Sport. Evening, everybody. Look who it is. It's Jeff Vesco. He's back again. Big up, boys. Hope you're all well. Hope you're well as well, Jeff. Right. So, first off, I don't know if we... Oh, hang on. Big news. 1-3-0. Well done, Matty. Well done, Matty.
So the only team to let us down was the team that we support. Fantastic.
I heard fantastic, so I'll agree with that. All right, let's start off with the show. This is what like is on the menu tonight. Bruno is innocent. Benny McCartney is given.
Benny McCartney.
What's his name?
McCarthy.
All right, yeah. Benny McCarthy has given an interview, which is like a bit of sweet and sour, to be honest. And the Sharks are circling around Ten Hag, and I have a theory, which I will share with you later. We've got Andrew, who's just popped in, just saying, boys. That's what's on his menu tonight. And also, as a little game, I've included song lyrics for each slide in the presentation.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, let me know who can get it first. All right, let's talk about Bruno. I think everyone knows now that Bruno, his red card has been rescinded, and he's available for Villa, Brentford, West Ham, and of course Porto on Thursday. Let's start off with you, OMONDI. I am absolutely shocked that this red card has been rescinded, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too. It's a red card because he's had his foot up around shin level with his studs up, and that's seen as dangerous foul play. And for that, you automatically get free game ban. When we looked at it, we discussed it post-match, and there was no real argument. We all accepted that it was a red card by the book. But we did say at lower levels, but even amateur grassroots, you can get away with that. You can get away with it. But when at this big stage, you cannot afford to be doing that. And it was petulance as well by him. So I am really surprised. I would like to know what the procedure is for making an appeal and what their argument was against it, because are they going to say he slipped? Are they going to say it was not intentional? You know, because you can't overturn something like that when it's a high challenge like that, you know, because you undermine the referee decision, and you know, it would encourage other teams to look for justice and say, oh, how come Bruno got away with that when we appealed against this decision? Do you say it sets a precedent, doesn't it? So if a club gets a red card for something similar and they appeal and it gets rejected, they're going to have to justify why. So I'd like to know more about that. What was said by the FA, why they rescinded it. I'm interested to know these things. Mr. B, you go to league meetings quite regular, don't you? And these are the topics that come up, aren't they, in league meetings about violence and clubs that are, you know, getting fines and that kind of thing. So how do you stand on this one?
My only surprise is how VAR can change it 2 days after. Is it the same VAR panel? We had VAR. They didn't overturn it on the day, but they've overturned it 2 days later. I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference to the game anyway, to be honest. We were already dead in the water, but I mean, we've got him back. I'll be honest, I was looking forward to him not playing. I was looking forward. I was looking forward to him, Ten Hag, setting up a team without him playing. But he's back now, so Ten Hag will be gone even quicker, I suppose.
I mean, what I think I agree with both of you is I'd like to know the reason why it's been overturned. But I think the big thing is, I haven't checked this, but I believe Stuart Atley was the VAR man on the day. And a red card is something that you look at on VAR. Like, you look at it several times, and he didn't see enough to overturn the ref's decision there. And I don't know. I'm a bit confused by all of this, because they looked at it for a minute or two, decided it was fine, and then a couple of days later, United have put a petition in, and it's been overturned. It feels a little bit unfair. I agree it wouldn't have affected the result, but that was still our captain off the pitch, which is never a good thing.
But do you think the referee's decision was right? We discussed this. I'm sure you said by half time that you felt it was a red.
Yeah, I think
because I'm sorry, I'm just going to go. There's a comment, because obviously Jeff's a referee, and when I say so, Jeff says here, this is what I want you to discuss. Bath time wasn't a red card because the slip, the angle, and the light heel contact. So obviously he's a referee. He knows the discussions that take place, but I still think it's a red card, regardless of the slip or the thing. I think the slip, if someone beats you or makes you slip, that's good footballer. That's getting away from your player. If you slip and you still raise your foot like that, regardless of light contact, it's a foul and it's a red card. But I'm not going to turn away from that. But Jeff's obviously got more insight than me about refereeing. Bath time.
Look, for me, I thought it was a red because I felt he was out of control because he was slipping for a start. And I thought it was it was dangerous. There wasn't the intent to hurt the player, but it was dangerous because of he made contact just below the knee. And that, I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to start wearing suits of armor instead of shin pads because people are slipping about. If you saw that happen to a teammate or one of your players in the Sunday League, you know that there's going to be argy-bargy after that because it's a dangerous action. So that's normally how I go off red cards. But as I say, I don't actually know the rules of football anymore. But for me, that felt like a red card challenge. But should we see what the comments are saying?
Yeah.
All right. We deserve better. Press gave Maguire favourable. Press during the Ten Hag demoting him to the bench. Press calling in those favours. We'll get to that a little bit later. We deserve better, but that's one theory, which I think what you're saying is that Maguire is the leaker. We've got Mark. Ralph Ragnick, strut around like Bob Marley in Brixton. I'm not reading the last part of that. I can't stand Ralph Ragnick. Absolute criminal. Another criminal is Big G. Oi, oi, sausage pots. What is a sausage pot? You say it every day.
A pot of sausage.
Yeah, but I think it's a euphemism for something. Like, I'm not sure. Andrew is saying, I'm glad it was rescinded. I thought he was a little unlucky. Right, Jeff, as we said, the only thing I'd ask here is that angle or I wonder if you might have misspelled ankle. Good evening, everyone. The FA are a joke. I was wondering what it would be like with Bruno out of the team. Now we won't know. Why not rescind it whilst we're playing? That's a very good point, Tyrone. Some fans won't be happy that Bruno can play. Yep, some players, as I think as well. But we have some interesting quotes from Benny McCarthy later. Which one is it? From Benny. About Bruno. McCarthy. Like the communist trials, not the Beatles.
Yes.
Okay, McCarthy. Look here. We'll defo lose the next 3 games now Bruno is playing. It's a strange one. Got no strong views either way on the red. He should have made him at least take a look just for appearances. Do you mean like on the monitor? Stuart, never a red, but you're always a red, Stuart. His slip was directional. Okay. Bruno Fernandes plays like a hot-headed teenager. Wish he'd grow up. Mr. B, do you still play like a hot-headed teenager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. If I'm on the pitch, I have to run. I am. I haven't
Like
changed.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I haven't.
In you.
Yeah, I haven't changed. You put me on the pitch and I will run until my knees start hurting, and then I'll stop. But yeah, I keep running. Fuck it.
Yeah, I like a good run around. But is your temperament better than when you were younger? Mine definitely is.
Yeah. When I was a thug when I was younger. I think once I became a manager and player manager, then you realize, okay, you can't really carry on like that, maybe. But yeah, I've changed a lot. I've mellowed a lot. I have mellowed a lot.
What age did you become a player manager?
I've been doing it for about. How old am I?
Brilliant. What's my name?
For about 25 years, I reckon. No, about 15 because I played for 10. Yeah, about 15 years I've been doing it. Probably a little bit more than that.
So up until that point, you were still like aggressive.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
And Yabba, I assume that you've always been quite calm on the pitch.
Nah, I'm aggressive, very aggressive on the pitch. Like, yeah, but it's psychological, isn't it, Mr. B? You get into battles and you got to know when to be aggressive, when to, depends who I'm up against or what I'm battling. So if I want to get the better of my opponent, sometimes you could just be calm and quiet, deadly silent, and just come in and give them something. You could, there's so many arts, the dark arts you can use. As we know.
But you're like choosing how you act there, and I think that me and Mr. B weren't exactly choosing what we were doing when we were younger.
Well, the thing is, guys,
just reacting.
I'm 6'5", so I have a presence about me when I'm playing football, and if I be aggressive all the time, it's not right. So I just play games, psychological games with people. I don't want to be pulling around or anything else, but I can. If I switch like that, I go calm. I start sometimes I'll be calm, and then when I switch, they're like, okay, this guy's vexed now.
What do you switch to? Like shouting?
No, if someone tries to put their arms on me or with a little bit of that or something, I can I'll switch and string people up. You can't do that anymore. But you can't. Yeah, but you can't do that anymore. And obviously,
when was you able to do it? When have you ever been able to do it?
I used to get away with it a lot by stringing people up, get into fights or whatever and that kind of thing. But yeah, football's such a great game, isn't it, Mr. B? Bath time, you both play it, but to get something over your opponent. Even the other day, we got a guy, opposition guy, who just knows how to wind people up. He's good.
Is this Darryl?
No, someone we're playing against, and the same last year, we're playing against twice now. And we said to the guys before the game, don't let him wind you up. But he always finds a way to wind people up. bit like Mr. B would do. You know, he's got that says the right thing at the wrong time to push people's buttons. So yeah, I think we should do a show on things like that, experiences we've had. Things
international break.
Yeah, international break. That's a good idea. Anyway, I'm going off topic. And
All
Stuart
right.
Marshall, you're always welcome.
Yes. The way Bruno is playing, 3-game ban would have done him good. The intent by Bruno was there. Red should have stood. I don't think there was any intent from Bruno, to be honest.
Do you know what it was? It was he did slip, but he made sure, like, he made contact with the player. Somebody put directional foul down there, or directional slip or something. I think that's kind of close. He did slip, but he still made sure that the player didn't go past him.
Yeah. Which is a bit sick, really, because maybe he's got Trevor fever. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Trevor. I'm so sorry, that was terrible.
I like it. Welcome.
Welcome, Trevor.
Yeah, well, welcome. I agree it was red, but I knew it would be overturned by Maddison's reaction, hugging and laughing and saying it wasn't a red card. I don't know. I once saw Patrick Vieira spit all over Neil Ruddock and Neil Ruddock laughing at him. And that red card wasn't overturned. Do you remember that one?
Also, Brendan Johnson got in Bruno's face and said, you see? Because he saw him raise his leg and say, you're off, really wound him up, you know? And Bruno tried to play the innocent thing. And you can see, but as soon as Bruno done it, you can see the way he looked around. He knew he'd done wrong. And he should be taking a ban.
Elite Baller. When United fans, including me, are annoyed that the captain of Manchester United did not get suspended for 3 games, speaks volume about said player. Yeah, it's tough times in the fan base at the moment. We're all fighting like over our players. When, to be honest, I'd like to see them fighting almost like a tenth as hard on the pitch as social media is.
It's crazy. It's crazy how everything's just gone. I mean, people are talking about civil war. It is crazy.
I think it's like normally, like, have you ever heard the expression that every argument is an iceberg?
Okay,
I understand it. I've never heard it, but yeah.
Yeah, like because 90% of an iceberg is like underwater and you can't see it. And this is, I think that it's just pure frustration that is coming out. Like, because even though we've had 2 trophies, we have taken beatings in the last 2 or 3 years.
We've had 10 3-0s, you know? 10 3-0s. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I think what it is that like everyone kind of, they just want it to be one thing that is the problem, and they also want to be right. So there's people saying Rashford is the problem, Bruno is the problem, the manager is the problem, when in actual fact the club has metastasized so much that there's
what
just
that means.
Thank you.
It basically means cancer. It's how cancer grows.
Okay.
It's to do with cell division and Hayflick's constant. I wish Bart was here because he's brought that up before, but I'm joking. I don't wish Bart was here. Sorry if you are here, Bart.
Bart's not here, but Kunle is.
I know. I'm so excited.
Kunle.
He's been on a secret mission for a while, but he's back. Yeah, Eric at the wheel. I forgot. Ola Kunle is a Liverpool fan, is he?
Yeah. That's why he was so quiet. Slapped him up, kept him quiet for the whole of last season. And now look, they did us 3-0. He's come out of his cave. Now, welcome back, man. I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well, because I've seen Liverpool's fixtures recently, and it's really gonna be a test for Arne Slot. Like, I have to confess, I'm very worried about Liverpool this year. I think they're closer to City than Arsenal are. But Andrew is saying the 2 best decisions made this summer were to sign Chido and Kone. That's the sort of thing that's going to pay dividends eventually. Oh, maybe that's how they got the Glazers to sign them. Talking about dividends. I bet bath time is the king of trash talking on the pitch.
Yeah.
I'm actually very quiet on a football pitch.
Stop lying. You've
So
told us
we're not
stories.
bath time. No.
So look, it
Let's
doesn't
stay
matter.
for show international break. We're going to draw you out. We're going to drag it all out of you. Bath time.
I'll tell you some things that I've said and done in the past.
There you
But
go.
basically, I got put up once by one of my teammates when I was playing in Corby because I was getting us into too many fights by running my gob, and they were getting sick of it. So I learned it pretty quickly. All right, enough of this. Enough about me. It's time for our next slide. Let's get that off.
Wait.
Oh
I
god.
don't know the tune thing, where the drums thing. Can you hear the drums? What song is that from? Anyone in the comments? You did say there's a song theme in each of these.
Oh,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna know that.
Can you hear the drums?
No, not yet. Do you want the next clue?
Yeah.
This is about McCarthy's interview in the Athletic. I never thought that we could lose. I'm a bit confused about the kind of tone of this. So he said that these are all direct quotes, right? He said that Eric Ten Hag lacks a bit of that fire, that passion. In modern football, I believe that players want to see a bit more passion in their coach. They need to feel the coach is with them and willing to fight alongside them. Tactically, I feel that Eric is at the top. He lacks a bit of that fire, that passion. That's where we differ, him and I. Let's start off with you, Mr. B. Looking at those quotes, what is this a sneak diss? What is this?
Yeah, it's weird. Why? Well, the timing maybe. He is, digging him a bit. I mean, I don't. Maybe it was Ten Hag that said he didn't want him to stay, and this is maybe his riposte to getting sacked by Ten Hag and Ruud coming in. I don't know. It just seems weird why he would say that.
I checked about why he left the club, and he left because he wants to be a manager. So it was according to him in an interview he gave. It's of his own volition that he wasn't sacked. He left to explore new opportunities, but God knows if that's true or not.
He just seems to be trying to separate himself from him. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting that he said that he feels that tactically Ten Hag is absolutely brilliant. He's the top. He'd love to be at that level, but it's about the connection with the team. Because I also feel that Eric lacks that with the fan base as well. When you look at his press conferences and stuff, he's on another planet with what he's saying. So Yabba, talk to me.
Yeah, it's really good interview. We want to hear this. Benny McCarthy, he's got a lot of passion. He's South African, isn't he? He's got a lot of passion. He played the game like that. Always got a smile on his face when he's playing football. And it's fine. It's that fine tune of balance, isn't it, Mr. B? When you're a manager, he's giving props to Ten Hag. Something we should all remember. He's saying Ten Hag is a tactical don. He said tactically he's very good.
Yeah, but he hasn't shown it, has he?
Well, the players haven't delivered it, maybe. And so this is what Benny's saying, isn't it? Tactically is very good, but he actually said the players can't put it to get it over to the players. You have to have a bit more personality and a bit more charisma as well, so the players actually do it and stick to it. Sometimes I remember teachers in school. If there's someone really boring and doesn't excite you or inspire you, I had a great story the other day about a friend of mine. He said one of the teachers in school really made a difference in his life and inspired him by being charismatic and helping him out. And he was, as a kid, it transformed him from this boring teachers that he had. Suddenly a teacher that had a bit of something about them, he followed the lead and became a better person and got some really good grades or whatever in whatever subject he was doing with his teacher. The teacher had that kind of energy to get the best out of him. So someone could give you a test or teach you something, but if there's nothing, if you don't have any energy behind it, it's like Sesame Street. I learned my numbers and my ABC for Sesame Street because it was fun the way they put it over. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if it's just basic 1, 2, 3, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you have to count, you know. As a kid, you're like, oh yeah, I love this. I'm learning. You know.
Well,
it's
unbelievable.
It's very true, but you can imagine, like, it's true.
I know.
I'm making a good point, but you can imagine when you're sitting there and going, oh, here we go, and you're nudging each other. Here he goes, boring, dead hag, falling asleep. Wear your Homer glasses. Tell me all about it. Where with the eyeballs over there, you need enthusiasm. You need to have that charisma, and I don't think Eric's got that. So to combine that clearly it makes a good manager if you can have great tactics and you can deliver it with a Sesame Street kind of style, which gets people involved and enjoy the education with a smile.
Well, I mean, Sesame Street is the nearest that I've ever got to the streets, so I'm pleased about that. But it brings to mind like the cringeworthy stuff that I've seen from Pep and Arteta. Like I watched that Amazon documentary about, and Pep was giving team talks, and I remember thinking, just shut up. If you're a player in that dressing room, you don't need this sort of like this great pantomime going on. And then you've got Arteta doing magic tricks, and like you've always got to watch your pockets when Arteta's around. You never know where he's like Fagin or something, with all these pickpockets running about. But I think that you've hit on something that's really important, because in my experience, my teammates and stuff, no one is particularly interested in like the universals of what's going on a football pitch. They're just interested in what they are doing. And you need to be able to give really clear and simple instructions in order to affect stuff. So like if you've got a striker and you just tell him at halftime, run around a bit more, like that striker knows that means like don't necessarily just occupy the centre backs. That means you've got to run the channels, you've got to sort of stretch the pitch and things. Or you just tell someone like, look, you've got to get a bit wider. And that means that someone else has got a little bit more sort of time and space to utilise. But I get the impression that Eric will say something like, I need you to peel off 45 degrees, eh?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, I think you can't complicate things. So like, when you're on the sideline and you're giving instructions to people, I assume you try and make it as simple as possible. Hello?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, I was waiting for that. I didn't realize.
Trying to remember your age again.
Yeah, sorry.
Mr. Bathtime, you're boring Mr. B with your more excited. Make you your charisma when you're asking questions.
Yeah, the 1, the 2, and 3, the count. Maybe that's what Ten Hag needs, is at half time, right? When they come in, instead of a team talk, he's just got some sock puppets. And he's going, Marcus, run left. What's that?
Come in with a Snuffleupagus outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Say, hey guys.
Because they are a bunch
Give me the
of
Big Bird outfit. I'll come in with that.
Yeah, Rude. That's why Rude looks so miserable on the sideline. And it's an answer, Rude. Get the Big Bird costume. It's time to turn it around.
Get the guitar going.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. Yeah. All right, Mr. B, tell me about instructions that you give to your players.
I keep my instructions really simple half time, to be honest. I do. I give the team tactics and certain players tactics, and then the rest of them I just leave to play because they already know how I want to play anyway. They've been playing with me for long enough, so I don't really have to tell them too much. But the new players, I mean, we've got a couple of youngsters, boy. Lovely 2 centre backs. It's music to my ears. They listen to everything. They listen to everything. So yeah, I give them the couple of instructions at the beginning, and then during the game, you might give them one or two. But I like football played on the floor, and I insist on that most times. I want the ball played out from the back. I insist on that most times, and after that, they can do what they want.
God, you'd hate me in your team because I demand that I take the goal kicks because I've got the biggest kick, so I can absolutely
I don't want
yeah.
the big kick. My goalie, I nearly broke his neck the other day. All he kept on doing was hitting it long, and I'm telling him no. So I walked round behind the goal, and in no uncertain terms, I told him if he kicks the fucking ball long again, he's coming off the pitch. And for the rest of the game, he played it nice and short.
Good.
Follow my instructions or fuck off.
I don't play for you.
Can I add to that as well? Like I know because me and Mr. B live quite local to each other. He plays Saturday, I play Sunday. So sometimes I've had some of his players, or I've come across some of his players, and they say, "Oh, Marvin, Mr. B, whatever, And so they always have something positive to say about him. The free agent guys, the guy I met on Sunday, we were playing against, who plays for your Saturday team. They're like, "Oh yeah, Mr. B." It's like, so you've got something about you, Mr. B. You've got personality for one.
Yeah, I'm not a wanker.
But you got personality. This is the thing. You're not just a Ten Hag where you're just robotic tactics, whatever. You got personality, and people like to play for you. This is the thing. So
is that how you feel about Ten Hag? Like, I know you're a big Ten Hag inner, but do you think he's robotic?
Well, I'm just judging. This thing, it's about insight, isn't it? We've had an article today from Benny McCarthy, and he's actually given me more insight. So, so this is what they feel about Ten Hag. We've been waiting for information like this. What is it? It's where he's going wrong, or what is it about?
Yeah, but do you feel like he hasn't complimented Ten Hag? Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's sticking. How is he?
He said he's got
no charisma. Yeah, but that's the last little bit. That's like the apology when the newspaper say that you're a blot, and they stick the little bit right at the bottom. Oh, sorry, right at the back, underneath the barcode. Oh, we're sorry for blah blah blah. I just think he's trying to stick it to him.
I think the implication is that he got a lot of praise when Rashford hit like the 30-goal season, and now he's not here. Rashford's playing like dog shit. So what I read into that is that he is saying that there are players that need a personal connection and not just a tactics bot 3000 that comes out, gives them some instructions, and then gets on his bike and fucks off. Like that, I think that's what it's about. Yeah.
Just going to ask you two, think of throughout your playing careers, who's been your favourite manager and why? And what is it about this manager you love playing for him?
I don't. My favourite manager is me.
Brilliant. Yeah. Why do you love playing for yourself so much?
Played for myself, guys.
Yeah.
Four. No, you know what? I you know what it is? I let them play themselves out of the team. If they're good enough, they get the chance, and then I let them play themselves out.
Do you ever give them advice or encouragement about where to improve?
Yeah, I'm very encouraging. maybe too much, to be fair. But I try to give them, but because you see them once a week. You see them an hour before the game, and sometimes it's for 7 hours after the match, depending on how the match went. But after the game, you're not talking tactics. You might talk about the game. So those sort of things maybe come in the group sort of during the week, maybe. But it doesn't change. If I'm playing home or away, it's not going to be, you've got to do this because I don't think at our level that makes a difference.
Just it's your bath time. What manager have you had, and what was the good points about him that made you want to play for him so much?
Like my footballing father was Carlos in Chile, and he was he was one of those people that was like really kind of boring, that it gave him a sort of charisma, that he literally didn't care about anything but football. He was like, he was someone that if you put the time in, he'd give you everything. Like, you know, like I spent Christmases with him, and things like that. And he was a really kind man, but he had massive standards, and back then I wasn't as disciplined or as focused as I am now. And you're muted. And I couldn't. What were you saying?
You were young.
Yeah, I was young, and he gave because you know, I'm a country boy and stuff, but the bright lights of a city can really sort of get you out of control, and I was very up for that.
Not just the lightsaber.
No, it wasn't. There's lots of stuff. There was all sorts of things that were going on, and he gave me enough rope to hang myself, but also sort of showed me what I should, you know, told me what I should be doing, and he was also a very, very good coach.
Yeah.
But he was a good guy, and I think that's why I loved him so much. What about you, Yabba?
Yeah, a guy called Johnny Core, still around these days, Arsenal fan, but we played for him. He was what he did. We used to play for one club, and then he got all the boys together, all the brothers, everything together, and he was just like a nutter, and we loved him. He used to come in his van, his transit van, and with people there's no seats in the back, so there'd be 12 kids in the back holding on, and I was always in the front. He made, you know, and he was. I think he felt sorry for me because my mum and dad separated, and I was just like this kid that moved to the area. I moved to Greenford, and he kind of put me under his wing, and he got the best out of me that way, you know. But he was really tough, and he would back us. He would start fights with the other managers. He was really he was really cool as well. He used to smoke in the van like someone else we know, you know. And he played sort of house music. And this is a long time ago. Play real cool house music and be really energetic. And we love playing for him. And to this day, we've gone to parties at his house and everything. And there's a whole generation of us. Some of us made it playing at a high level. We all because of Johnny. We were unbeaten for 3 years under him. But it's just the enthusiasm he had. He didn't know nothing about football, but he would say, "Get out of here!" Right?
Is this the East End gangster that you were talking about?
No. That's another guy, Mick Byrne. He passed away.
So you've been coached by a lot of people who know nothing about football.
Well, yeah, we were just all good players. I mean, we all played county and district and everything. But to get us all together, all the boys from the area, to get us all together to play for one team, we just unbelievable. We were unbeaten for 3 years. Actually unbeaten for 3 years. We won everything, and those days were the best days to this day. Playing for him, we used to go to tournaments, the Canary Cup at Norwich, Western-super-Mare, Bristol tournaments, all this kind of thing, and win them. You know, both A, B, and
you won the Canary Cup.
Huh?
You won the Canary Cup.
No, we didn't win the Canary Cup. I'm lying. We didn't win that. We won the Western-super-Mare. I think it was Bristol Cup. The Canary Cup was tough. There was some really.
What? Yeah. What are you doing in East Anglia? That's such a.
We used to go there every year for the Canary Cup.
All right. Still going, I think, to this day.
Is it really? Okay.
I think so. I've played in it as well. I think we got knocked out in the first round when it's about 14.
It's high levels, really good.
Yeah,
top level. Get Scottish teams, Irish teams, all these going over there. But anyway, yeah.
A tough one. Anyway, we've got to do the comments instead of reminiscing about the old days. We Deserve Better is saying, I felt the first season, Eric had a great, refreshing connection with fans. It changed second season.
Good comment.
I think for me, the big thing that happened in the first season was McTominay gave a penalty away against Chelsea in the 85th minute, and Casemiro scored in the 91st minute or something like that. And Lisandro Martinez was in the crowd, snogging fans and things. And it felt a bit different. It felt like these players got what it was to be United players. Right. Eric may lack charisma, but Van Gaal and Mourinho didn't. They had pedigree and still struggled.
Good point.
Some of Bilal's female teachers excited him. Good stuff. I've heard that about 10 times today, that Eric is disconnected from players, and even at Ajax had assistants that handled player issues. My friend Jesse is an Ajax fan from Holland, and he was really, really pleased when Ten Hag left, because he said he just couldn't handle any more of Ten Hag's press conferences, and Ten Hag needed to have someone to go out and talk for him. And you know what?
So it's not the fact that it's broken English. It's the fact that even in his native tongue, he's still boring, yeah?
Yeah, he just is that way, I think. It's unbelievable. Sesame Street was jokes. Please, can Yabba sing that again?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I know. I think that's it. I think that's probably better than when you said that CERN was stealing the Rodin statue or something. Ten Hag probably has players writing essays on the importance of possession. It reminds me of a very boring geography teacher I used to have. No, I also don't think it's the worst thing in the world having a boring manager, because the players can actually kind of rally around that. Like like people from different cultures and have different viewpoints can all make a joke that Eric Ten Hag just goes A all the time. Okay, no, I'm not. I don't think anyone would ever describe me as an OG gangster. The hierarchy did look too cool initially, but think Nagelsmann may be a better fit. A manager that can grow with the team. I think that's a brilliant point, Tyrone, because that is essentially, I believe, what Arsenal are doing, aren't they? They've got a very young team and a young manager, and they're all kind of going up together. And I think Klopp might have been a bit similar to that as well. And it's my man, it's Lucky Singh. New ownership coming, people. Tell them they don't want the D. Well, okay.
Lucky Singh, I swear to God, bro. You know what? I love you and I'm glad you're here, but half of your fucking messages, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I think he's from the future. And he's sending us messages from the future, and it's up to us to decipher them. That there's great meaning within them. And we've got One Don MUFC 45. It works though. Are you from Brazil? And it's Mr. POTUS. Big up, fellas. Mr. B is back in action. His internet connection is fixed, and it certainly is.
I've worked out what it was.
What was it?
PS5.
Brilliant. We're telling kick Jadon Sancho out of the house. Rashford has had Ole and Ruud as coaches and still looks poor. Benny was here last season. Rashford was awful. So no, he's just sticking the knife in. Is that how are people reading this? Is this a balanced thing on Ten Hag, or do people think that this is sticking the knife in? How is he still in the job? I thought he was sacked. Mr. B can rock anything he wears.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. You got permission. What are you talking about? Snogging fans? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Richard. Let's see, another modern classic from Lucky Singh. Jim Radcliffe, glad we're looking high new performance at you and with senior players for dress room. And then he's got a picture of a doctor and someone running towards a door. So good one there. And I think
I love this guy.
It's brilliant. The problem is these players do not fear and are lacking respect for Ten Hag too. Well, this brings us on to our next one. And by the way, we deserve better. I saw your comment. You got the song correct. I'm just hoping that no one else read it. So Benny went on to say, if some of the United players had what Bruno and Dalot have, it would have been easier to achieve good results. They both trained with incredible concentration, giving everything they had. Some of the others didn't do the same. This ended up limiting United's progress because some players weren't training to the best of their ability. Now, this is music to your ears, isn't it, Yabba?
It certainly is. I think that we know Dalot is a great trainer. He models himself off Ronaldo and those high standards. This is what you do. As a professional, your career is short. You might as well give it your total best. And I think Dalot does that and makes himself a proper player, a professional player that the manager can trust. The manager needs to trust players. And the only way you demonstrate that is in training. It's how players on the fringe of the team can prove themselves in training. So give 100% every time. Roy Keane said it himself. But Bruno Fernandes is getting props as well. This is obviously someone who's been there, witnessed it for himself. Benny McCarthy, who was a coach at Man United, he's seen that Bruno Fernandes also has a high standard in training and very professional as well. We can't fault the guy. So in that respect about being professional, putting the effort in and training and maybe working after training as well and having the right attitude as well. So that's why if anyone's asking why he's picked or why he's captain, maybe there's some insight there, which is new to me about this, to have a first-hand account about it. It's positive, and I'm going to remember this now going forward to say, this is the reason Bruno plays. This is the reason why he's trusted by so many managers when it seems a lot of fan base want him out or want him to take a rest for 3 games, which is not going to happen. So that's really, it's great. This is what I'm saying. This is so, for me, this sort of insight from Benny McCarthy coming out, talking about Ten Hag, he's very good at tactics, talking about the couple of players that are really good in training, but some other players are letting them down, you know. So there we go again, the same Matic.
President Matic.
Yeah, you know what? I would love them just to name the players. Just say Sancho, who we thought wasn't training. Well, yeah. Well, we know one of them, Sancho, but it wasn't him on his own. I would like to know who. Just say, what's he going to do? He can't get sued. You know what I mean? Luke Shaw was never there.
He can.
What, he can get sued for saying that they didn't train properly?
Yeah, because it impacts on their future earnings. If you go out and say that a player is a poor trainer, it means that they're less likely to be signed by the club. So you can't, like, legally. I mean, maybe he could YOLO it and just go out and say it, like Jose would. Jose doesn't care, but Benny, I don't think he would. And just before I forget, Matthew Bassett is asking, is anyone representing the agenda on Saeed TV later?
Is that a no? Yeah,
I've turned it down because I've got work in the morning and I can't, you know, I've been at work all day and I find it difficult because I've seen Saeed's been on a rampage this week. We had Saeed been on a rampage, spitting, flames and all this kind of thing. And I'm not going to go on there. I'm tired as it is. I had a 12-hour shift at work and I don't want to jump. I've got to get up early at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to go on there for 2 hours and be on the end of abuse.
Yeah, you'd be torn apart if you went in, exactly. Ethan. So,
big up to Saeed. He's doing a great job. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. I need to get up for work tomorrow. And that would just give me sleep. I won't be able to sleep all night. Imagine all the trauma of everything, reading these comments. Who's that old man talking rubbish or that kind of thing? Now, fair play. They're doing a great job. But I just feel that we're more level-headed here on the agenda. And it's really fiery at the moment about Ten Hag because we're losing games and the fan base, we just want the club to do so well. So there's so much passion involved in everything. And we're a different generation there's a lot of people we talk to, different types of fans, older people, younger people, male or female. The bottom line is everyone wants us to succeed and do well. So go and tune into Saeed today at 10 o'clock, guys.
Where we won't be on.
Yeah, we won't be there. Yeah.
We'll be in the comments support him.
Well,
but you're right.
Yeah.
It's crazy times out there. Stay safe with the Manchester United agenda, where we're basically doing the best of Sesame Street tonight. I'm just going to do some comments. Mr. B, do you have anything else to say on the Benny stuff there?
No. As I said, I think he's stuck him in and he's twisted him and he's lifting him up and he's walking him to the end to throw him off the cliff. But yeah.
Right. Rude wants the United job and no one can convince me otherwise. We'll get on to Rude now. If you don't train well, then you don't play. I think, if I'm correct, Tevez was a terrible trainer. Like, it's been said by a couple of people that he did bugger all in training all week.
Aguero as well.
Was he? He's
apparently,
Argentine.
Yeah.
Andrew, he doesn't give an F what Bruno does on the training pitch. Tonight's letter is F.
Sesame Street bars.
Yeah. Arsenal were impressive. United in Ineos need to look at how they've turned things around and take some inspiration from it.
I think they have. I think they're trying to model themselves on that.
Do you think so? Joined up thinking from, like, is it Edu, their sporting director?
Yeah. How to be successful. Look at the model of Arsenal. They've done it really well.
The comment I just had just disappeared then. Here it is. I like Saeed, but standing outside Old Trafford and ranting isn't going to change things. Saeed speaking facts.
Yeah, he's made some good points.
Yeah, I think so. The Man United agenda is like The Guardian, while Saeed TV is like Viz.
Horses for courses, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Tevez was a great player. All right. What have we got next?
I want to know this song.
The Roar of Guns. Like, this is what we've got so far.
Right.
Can you hear the drums?
Yeah.
And the clue is the name of the player there. I never thought that we could lose. None of us prepared to die. The roar of guns and arrows nearly made me die.
What genre is this tune? Because it's probably some, I don't know.
It's very difficult, actually. I think it's either late 70s or early 80s. But
That's me out then.
Between that's you out. Well, you're only listening to 2015 onwards.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah.
I listen to young music.
Yeah, two people have got it. It is Fernando by ABBA.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is that? The words that go in? Is that the words for the chorus?
Yes, that's what lyrics are. Yeah.
This is the thing with ABBA. They made these catchy songs, but what are they actually talking about? So Fernando, what's Roar of Guns and what's is it about Fernando? Someone from the historics? Because they talk about Waterloo as well, don't they?
Now, I don't think that they're like all their songs are based on battles, but the two that you brought up actually are. But Waterloo is being used as a metaphor. This one is about Fernando in the Spanish Civil War, and I think that she's going to bang Fernando the night before, and they can hear the battle going on, and they're both young and they're ready to die, and so on.
So, did you say she's going to bang Fernando?
Yes, she's going to have sex with Fernando.
Oh, right, sorry. That's what I thought you said. I just wanted to make sure. For God,
they also talk about a battle in Monopoly as well, don't they?
The battle in Monopoly.
Yeah, when you're playing Monopoly. In one of
right, what's the joke?
Take a chance on me.
Nice.
Oh, why?
Anyway, let's move on.
Someone asked earlier what your job was, and I think that when you're on the shitter for an hour, you're just there learning jokes.
He's got a joke book.
Yeah, exactly. Which is ironic because although he's got a joke book, the toilet seat's been taken. The police had nothing to go on. Right. I know that was sport. That was for Yappa. Right. This is coming from Andy Mitten, and I'm hoping that everyone knows who Andy Mitten is. He is a sort of United superfan who's also an extremely good journalist. He runs like the fanzine and so on. He's been on Sky and everything. He is, whilst all of you seem to hate journalists, this guy loves Manchester United, and he's very, very close to the club, and he's my favourite writer on Manchester United. But he said that an hour after the FA Cup win, I spoke to half a dozen United players outside the dressing room and asked them about the manager. The words weren't being recorded. Not one said the manager should absolutely be sacked, and not one said he should absolutely stay. Yet there were clear issues between players and managers about his style. One of them said you cannot have teams in the relegation zone like Sheffield United and Burnley coming to Old Trafford and carving us open. Now, bugle calls were coming from afar. Basically, today, lots of outlets have been briefing about Ruud van Nistelrooy. So Manchester United bosses had a meeting with Ruud, and it's said to have left a positive impression, while Ten Hag acted more reserves. The bosses were quite impressed. United would consider putting Ruud in interim charge if they decide to sack Ten Hag, and the club are aware that Gareth Southgate isn't wanted. All these stories, lads, have come out today. I am of the impression that the club is briefing against Erik Ten Hag and briefing for Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I'm absolutely shocked that Mitten has come out with this story today as well. It's like so much is going on around the manager today that it's not a coincidence. Yabba, thoughts?
Yeah, well, Ruud was a fox in the box, wasn't he? Fox's characteristics are being sly, sneaky, and a bit of a predator as well. And going through trash garbage bins, which he's doing right now at our club. I think it's everyone's been saying it. Everyone's since he arrived, Ten Hag, it's a bit of disrespect towards Ten Hag to let him come in, knowing that's going to happen. I think who was it? Was it when Gerard Houllier arrived with Roy Evans? Wasn't he sort of? Everyone knew it was like unspoken word that he was going to take over eventually. And it seems to see the same effect here. But is this like what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming in? Just a guy to lift our spirits, legend of the club, to come in and just lift us for a few months,
Well, he's like a lightning rod, Ollie. Like the fans would never criticise him.
Yeah,
like same as Gibson after Van Gaal.
So, and then even Michael Carrick as well. So I think there is an element of that, and I think there is some truth in it. Now we're seeing all these quotes coming out. It does seem to me. I'm with you on this one, Bathtime. I think it looks like ominous for Ten Hag, and his so many Dutch people at the club. Why not just employ Ruud van Nistelrooy, who seems to be a bit more enthusiastic, younger, and could sort of give that balance, a bit more of a balance where he, like Ollie did, where he's going to be more in tune with the players as well. And Benny McCarthy's a great show because we've talked, I've got all these sources to refer to. And Benny McCarthy was saying to be a good manager, you need that balance. Yeah, he's got the tactical stuff, but you need to be able to deliver it to the players and get the respect to the players and be in tune with the players. And I think Ruud van Nistelrooy, from what I can observe, seems to have those attributes and will be able to get that over to the players. The players, I imagine, will be, because most of these players are like 23 to 30 years old. They remember Ruud, as we do, of being a legend, So
commands respect.
Yeah, I think it's ominous.
Yeah, it's all well and good. It's all well and good commanding respect, but if tactically he's a load of shit, then it's going to make no difference.
I mean, actually, I'll tell you what I mean after I've done the comments, because I don't want to forget about them. Melissa Reddy, oh my God, is that the clown on Sky Sports News? I believe she used to be Sadio Mane's girlfriend, but then I saw him get married to someone else, so maybe she isn't anymore. But I think she's a decent source. What, Sadio Mane?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Melissa Reddy.
They used to go out together, yes. What, are you checking this?
I'm going to check, yeah.
Of all the things that I've said, this is what you're checking. I am titanium. Our players think they're better than they actually are. And that is something that Ollie said as well. That like when the players asked him that they wanted to transition to a different style and be more high pressing. And he said that they just didn't know their capabilities or their limits. Tyrone said there will be riots if Southgate takes charge. Do you know the only thing I'll say about Southgate is apparently United have started selling waistcoats recently on the website. Genuinely, and Tyrone is saying, I can't see much changing if Ruud takes over. I want a manager with new ideas and a different direction. If Ten Hag goes, yes.
What formation does Ruud play?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah. I'm just curious as to if anybody knew what.
With the way the club's set up, the whole philosophy should be the same throughout the whole, from under 8s all the way to the senior squad. That's what the the technical director is supposed to do. So whoever comes in will have to fall in line with what we're doing, whatever that is.
Can you see Rude like really wanting a false nine? Like just based off his playing career.
Yeah.
No, he won't. He's gonna want a 4. He's gonna go and play 4-4-2, mate. And we're all got. He's gonna change the way football's played. He's gonna go 4-4-2, and we're gonna lose our mind again. He is. It's
not, because we get outnumbered in the midfield in every single game.
Yeah, people say that, but then he'll go long over the top. He'll be sensible.
Right. So in your team, you demand playing out from the back, but for Manchester United, let's bang it up the pitch. Brilliant.
It's true, Mr. B.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you. Like 4-4-2 would be wonderful, but it's not happening. It's whether we can get a modern version of 4-4-2 with 2 wide players attacking, getting the ball into two sort of like goal scorers, essentially, because nowadays no one seems to want a goal scorer except for Pep. Like, it's crazy. But I think Rude, with his career, the way he played, I don't know if he'd fancy a player like Xerxes, to be honest, but maybe I'm being too biased there. It was Houllier and Evans. They were meant to share the role at the beginning. It was a joke. I mean, I think both of you would agree with me by saying that the second Rude came in as an assistant was that there was an assassin in the room.
Yeah. But
right.
I mean, the thing is, Ten Hag is kind of said that he wanted Rude in. So
with a gun to his head, yeah.
What you think so? You think he was forced?
He's not going to publicly say, I didn't want Ruud van Nistelrooy here. He's a legend of the club. I didn't want him here. He's not going to say that if that's the case. Publicly.
I don't know. Ruud's a bit like the ghost at the feast in Macbeth or something. He's ready to.
Good.
I mean, I think Ruud knows Ruud must have known what he was doing. Like, come learn a little bit off Ten Hag, but he's won stuff in Holland as well. He's not,
What did he win? A cup?
Yeah, he won a cup.
Oh, great! So we're going to get another cup manager.
Maybe. We'll see. All right. Andrew is saying if Eric had any dignity, he would have walked.
17.5 million reasons. 17.5 million reasons why he ain't walking.
Do you know that that's less expensive than getting rid of Ragnek was? Ragnek was 20 million.
Really?
For 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Safe. Have you seen the Everest story about Ronaldo and Bale in 2013? Well, my friend, it's 2024 now, so that is 11 years ago. And even us are like, that's a little bit old for us. But I have to say, 200 million in 2013, I think Fergie was being a bit optimistic there. Like, that's a hell of a lot of money. Ruud looks like a blind alley. Not a fan of Ruud. If Hag goes, Ruud needs to go as well. Nor do I want an intern.
Okay.
Mane didn't go out with Melissa Reddy. He was a virgin until he met his wife.
Oh, Tyrone. Nobody. That's what he told her.
Yeah. Bath time. We will get a new manager, but old players start. Double thumbs up. Thank you. Ruud would probably play the same system or a low block. I always get a bit annoyed with people saying we're a low block or a high block or something like that. Like the best low block team in the Premier League is probably Man City. Like they defend the best in a low block. They're also the best in the mid block, and they're the best in a high block. Like it really depends on the situation, what you're doing. Teams are not just like low, high, or mid blocks. Like look at Brentford and what they've done this season. They've revolutionised free kicks, like kickoffs. Like they've scored 3 goals in the first minute. Like outrageous stuff. I want Zidane at our club. Bring back some proper pedigree. Ancelotti joining Manchester United would be a dream come true. What a world where Ancelotti was at Everton.
Crazy.
Isn't that incredible? And look what he did with Calvert Phillips or whatever he's called.
Lewin.
Yeah, like his entire reputation is based on that one season with Ancelotti. He's done bugger all since then. We've got Miles. He's saying keep Ten Hag. Ten Hag will improve this season. I mean, these players are new. Just give it a bit of time. Brentford is still low block, mate. What are you talking about? I don't know. You just have to watch the television and watch the football match, I guess. And our last slide, the stars were bright. So you've got it from that?
Never. Wouldn't know the lyrics to Fernando.
All right. This is why I think Ten Hag is definitely done. It's the second one. Manchester United face fresh profit and sustainability rule challenges if they go another year without playing in the Champions League. So if we don't qualify through the league or through the UEFA Cup, we've got a sell to buy again in the summer. Some of you might like that because that could be Rashford, that could be Bruno, that could be Onana. Who knows? But it's most likely to be Delo, I would think. So I think, Mr. B, what do you think about that? Like, if we've got problems if we don't get Champions League.
The way the season started, if we lose to Villa on Sunday, we're 9 points behind them after what 7 games, 6 games, 7 games. We won't make that up. So, regardless of what the club want, unless they're going to sack him tomorrow and get somebody in before the Villa game, because I think that's his last one. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I think our best option of getting Europa League is Champions League is winning the Europa. That was before we played against 20 the other day. I'm not sure we've got the capabilities to get it. We would need a proper manager bounce. Really, really proper manager bounce.
Do you think that there's any chance that they'd look at Ten Hag's successes in cup competition and think that maybe, just maybe, he's the best bet for getting Champions League through the Europa League, even if we drew 1-1 with 20?
They have to beat Porto tomorrow.
Yeah.
For them to even contemplate that, they have to beat Porto tomorrow. Anything other than a win, then they've got no chance. No chance. I don't think they're going to change him. I don't think he can convince them. But we would have to smash Porto tomorrow on Thursday.
I think the Porto result is more important than the Premier League results.
More games in the Premier League.
No, I think that the Porto result will play more into if they keep him or not than the Premier League. Because if we can go out and get a good result in Europe, and you've got to remember he was dreadful in Europe last year. We were out by Christmas.
We've won 1 in 9.
Yeah, I think that our best hope of getting Champions League is through Europa competition now. Yabba.
I don't know if that's true. I'm interested. I'm not saying you're wrong. Just curious about your opinion. You know, I respect you. So I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that. I don't know if that's the Porto games more important than the Premiership. I always thought that maybe the Premiership is the bread and butter. That's what fans really want, you know. Even over winning the Champions League, I imagine. Yeah, really good points again. You know, about the setup of the club and just want to put this up again. The last one says one scout says staff are working in fear and under the impression that jobs could be on their line. They make a mistake. Isn't that good? Isn't that
a good job, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that a good thing?
I don't understand. You know, there's too much of this fear of do your job properly.
Exactly.
Then you wouldn't be in fear of losing your job. You're in fear of losing your job because you're shit at it.
Well, yeah. I can't tell you how I know this, but I have been told by someone in football that their impression of scouts now is that scouts are just ridiculous, where they all will clamber over each other to be to claim that they identified that star or the player that's done well. And surprise, surprise, when it doesn't work out, they will distance themselves, lie, make stuff up, fake emails and things to get themselves as far away from saying that they recommended that person.
It's all about reputation, isn't it? That's
yeah,
true. I can imagine it's true.
And it's really difficult to deal with scouts because they won't commit to firm opinions if you just say, should we sign this player?
Okay. But then shouldn't they give a report to say, tick the box, if someone ticks the box and says, hey, you should have a look at this guy. And then it's once they're at the club and training, then it's up to the coaches to decide, isn't it? You know, this guy's good once they've seen him live. It's about bringing them, attracting them, getting them to the club, and then letting the coaches decide if they're good enough or not. I think we have to ask Andrew Mensah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this guy told me that he speaks to them and they give him all this bollocks, and he says, "Would you sign this player? Yes or no? Just simplify it to me." And he can never get a straight answer out of them.
That makes sense. It's about accountability, is it? Oh, yeah. You said, you know, that Man United are going to win the league, or you said we're going to beat Crystal Palace, you know, that sort of thing. So go the money thing. The thing about this is where I think it gets serious. If you're on the board, if we don't qualify to Man United, if Man United qualify for Champions League this year, then there's going to be an issue with the cash that comes in. I was reading today that if Man City,
who can we sell? I mean, that's one player. How does that help?
He's homegrown.
How does that help what we're doing? It's one player though.
He's homegrown though.
Source that.
Well, clearly.
Yeah, I mean he's linked with Real Madrid, isn't he? For like Delo, I think 45 on the market. That's the maximum that you're going to get for a fullback. So we'll probably sell him for 35.
Well, the thing is, if that happened, look, I don't know what they're thinking. We're getting more aware of what's going on. But if we don't qualify for Champions League this year, and we are losing money, because I heard today that Man City, just for example, if they reach the quarters, they get like 35 million. You know, it's just for getting to the quarterfinals of Champions League. You see, there's so much money in it, and there's a big difference now between the Conference, Europa League, and the Champions League.
There's always been a big difference. It was just
but now they're saying the gap is widening a lot more. It's like
we do have more home games though, and we'll make a lot. We'll make like 2 million per like match at Old Trafford.
There's nothing compared to the Champions League. It's going to be a deficit from what we would earn if we do qualify for Champions League as well. So yeah, it's a huge difference, and it just seems like the pyramid is getting, you know, for the big teams in the Champions League, they're getting all the money, and the rest aren't. So some teams, I think it's going to damage football in a way with no new format like that. But anyway, going back to that, they have to be aware that it might be losing money, so they might have to make cuts, and that, like Mr. B was saying, that when it comes to selling some of our better players, we might have to become selling like that.
Garnacho?
No, I don't think that's right to sell sort of young starlets like that. More experienced pros. Look, we just sold McTominay, and that's a sign. We've got 25 million for him, was it? Something like that. 30 million. Well, there you go. 30 million for a guy that's obviously, you know, if he was 21, I wouldn't consider signing him, but because he was at that right age, it was fine to sell him at that age.
But we won't be able to spend as much as we did this summer.
Well, then that's why we work on the academy. Like the best two signings we've had is probably Kone and the African boy from Arsenal, the striker.
Yeah.
Martin's Obi Martin, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these
two
guys have come through. So yeah. Good
should you look at the comments and Lacanocci, because I've just realised we'll be going for an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah. AFC is in the house. Man United, how does it feel? He's talking about to win like the Champions League. Feels very, very good. Maybe it'll happen again.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah. And it's Bart. He's back. You've been taking strays tonight, Bart. I'm sorry for that. I hope you're well, my friend. I read somewhere that Bruno had played around 12,597 minutes since his employment in Manchester. I think, Bart, that you were reading that at the time, because even you wouldn't remember that specific figure.
Exactly.
Good one.
We will lose against Porto. We do not win away. He can't lose. He just can't.
That's right.
He can.
Talk about song titles. When he said that we will not win away, reminds you of when the lion sleeps tonight.
A Wimblewell.
Oh my god! Oh, oh, no. Oh, Lord. Oh, let's just get off.
We're only 6 points off fourth place with 32 games to go. This is salvageable.
Really?
That is optimistic.
Wow.
We've got Kind FC. Scouts might be undermined as well. United are notorious for not listening to their scouts. Caicedo is an example of that. Bruno's non-ball security is another. I'm not familiar with Bruno's non-ball security. I do know that they were not happy about Rasmus Højlund being signed, the United scouting department. They felt at the price it was ridiculous, which I agree with. Is there a watch along for the Porto game, Mr. B?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Wicked,
I'll do that.
wicked.
I'll do that.
Nice. Ericsson Casanero need to be moved on ASAP. Ericsson's our best player at the moment. And Andrew just has this face, and then has said wicked. Brilliant. Yeah, great. Thanks for that, Andrew. All right, so tomorrow we're probably doing a preview or attempting to do one. I'm not doing that one tomorrow. I'll be on the show. But are you doing that? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
Is anything that we need to tell these beautiful people?
No, just that we'll be back at 9 o'clock.
We'll be back at 9 o'clock. It's Lack a Notch from me.
And Lack a Notch from me.
And Lack a Notch from me.